Welcome back. The details. President Abdel Fattah al-Sisi gave his directives to provide all needed support for Egypt's future project in New Delta within the framework of the state's plan to expand the agricultural area and increase agricultural production. The president also urged the government to achieve a breakthrough in order to ensure the state's ability to protect the food security of the Egyptian people and increase agricultural exports in a way that supports a boost in national income. The president's remarks came on Saturday while meeting Presidential Advisor for Urban Planning, Major General Amir Said Ahmed, and Executive Director of Egypt's Future Agency for Sustainable Development, Professor Baha El Ghannam. The meeting followed up on the project's implementation rates, which aims to provide high-quality agricultural products at reasonable prices for citizens and export the surplus. The president was briefed on the latest developments concerning the pace of work on the relevant sub-projects, most notably the greenhouse projects in El Fayoum Governorate, land reclamation projects in the Minya and Bani Suef provinces in Upper Egypt, as well as the industrial and logistic zones in El Daba axis in the New Delta. Foreign Minister Sameh Shoukry holds on Saturday extended discussions with counterparts of France and Jordan, Stéphane Guillaume and Ayman Safadi at El Tahrir Palace. The tripartite meeting tackled the latest regional developments, on top of which is the Palestinian cause, the Israeli genocide war on the Gaza Strip, the release of captives, and the coordination of humanitarian efforts in the region. Shoukry also held bilateral talks with the French Foreign Minister, as the three top diplomats are expected to hold a joint press conference. This came as the Israeli occupation forces continue their aggression for the 176th day in Gaza Strip, killing scores and injuring others. Meanwhile, Palestinian factions are having heavy clashes with Israeli occupation deepening into Gaza Strip, particularly in Khan Yunis and the vicinity of Al-Shifa hospital.
Israeli occupation forces continue their aggression for the 176th day on the Gaza Strip, killing scores and injuring others. The occupation targeted eastern areas of Rafah, the southern city, and western areas of Khan Yunis, south of the Strip, amid heavy shelling and shooting in Gaza. Health authorities have said the occupation forces have committed 7 massacres during the last 24 hours that left more than 70 martyrs and 110 injured, whilst the total death toll of the Israeli genocide in Gaza has reached over 32,600, in addition to over 75,000 injuries. Meanwhile, Palestinian factions are having heavy clashes with the Israeli occupation forces deep into the Gaza Strip, especially in Khan Yunis and the vicinity of Al-Shifa hospital. Factions announced targeting 2 armored vehicles in the west of Khan Yunis and Gaza City, as well as destroying a house in the surroundings of Nasser Hospital, at which a group of occupation forces were hiding. This caused their death and injury, in addition to targeting a number of other Israeli forces in a number of areas. Occupation forces also announced the death of 1 of their soldiers and the injury of 16 others, including 6 in critical condition, in clashes in south of the Strip, to raise the number of human loss amongst the Israeli army to 598 since the 7th of October.
Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu approved new talks on a Gaza ceasefire a day after the world's top court ordered Israel to ensure urgent humanitarian aid reached people in the Palestinian territory. We have more details.
The Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu approved new talks on a Gaza ceasefire a day after the world's top court ordered Israel to ensure urgent humanitarian aid reaches people in the Palestinian territory. But despite a binding UN Security Council resolution this week demanding an immediate ceasefire, fighting continued Friday, including around hospitals. Regional fallout from the conflict also flared, with Israel saying it killed a Hezbollah rocket commander in Lebanon and several Hezbollah fighters killed in Syrian strikes that a war monitor blamed on Israel. Netanyahu's office said the new talks on a Gaza ceasefire and hostage release will take place in Doha and Cairo in the coming days, with guidelines for moving forward in negotiations days after they appeared stalled. In its order, the International Court of Justice in The Hague said Palestinians in Gaza were no longer facing only a risk of famine, but famine was setting in. Philippe Lazzarini, head of the UN Agency for Palestinian Refugees, posted on social media the ruling was a stark reminder that the catastrophic humanitarian situation in the Gaza Strip is man-made and worsening. The court had ruled in January that Israel must facilitate urgently needed humanitarian aid to Gaza and prevent genocidal acts, but Israel rejected the case brought by South Africa. The latest binding ICJ ruling, which has little means of enforcement, came as Israel's military said it was continuing operations in a Shifa hospital, the territory's largest, for a 12th day.